I have a game here by Asmodee. It is called Formula D. This game has been out a while. It is a racing themed game. And it's for 2 to 10 players. It says it takes about 60 minutes, but it has a couple of tracks on the double-sided board. Comes with some cars and some unique little gear shifts to determine the speed of your car. We'll open it up and take a look at the components. So you get a beginner's rule book here, which looks like it's just a few pages. Kind of tells you how to use the gear shift. Goes through some of the basics of the movement around the board. How to some more explanation of what's okay to move. How to start it. How to do multi-lap races, how braking works. And you got rules for road races on the back, and then you get a set of advanced rules here. And it's pretty much the same thing. I believe the gearbox is a little different. It handles damage to the car a little differently. It gives you some illustrations on how the movement works. Goes into some more advanced rules, crashing, slipstreaming, how to do pit stops, how the finish of the game works, some optional rules with weather conditions, some rules on road races. You can get a description of the drivers here that you can, I believe, that are included in the game. You can see you have some cards here for the drivers, and it lists the different stats they have. You have some little tokens here. I'm not sure what they are. Look like some weather tokens. So there's another one of the drivers. You have the gearbox here, and they're double-sided. You can see where the little gear shift's going to go in here to determine what dice you roll for the speed and the number ranges that you move of that dice. I believe this is the advanced side of the card where each section of the card can take a certain amount of damage. On the other side, you have the same gear shift here, but you have just an overall damage for the car instead of damage for each specific piece. You can see the back sides of the cards there have a more generic driver on them. I'm guessing maybe that's a road race driver versus a Formula 1 driver. But you're going to get 10 sheets just like that. The difference on them is going to be the drivers. So you can see the different cards for them. But all the gearbox stuff is the same. You get a double-sided board here, I believe. Looks like it may be in 2 pieces. So I went ahead and stopped and opened the board up. So you can get an idea. It's actually 2 separate boards, 6 panels each. This is kind of the road race side. You can see it's got the track and how it goes through. You've got the different turn areas where you have to determine braking. Got a little pit stop area. And then you flip the track over. And you're going to get a Monaco Formula One style track. And you can see it's got just some little flare details, so it's a really large board. And we'll fold that up and take a look at the last few components that are going to come in it. So you're going to get some dice here, and they're going to determine your movement based upon that gearbox I showed. And even though they're multi-sided dice, you have one that's actually a D20 that goes from 1 to 20. But the other D20 looks like it goes from 11 to 20. So even though it's a big dice, your range there is fairly large. So you're going to have the yellow's first gear, and then second gear, third gear, fourth gear, fifth gear, and sixth gear. So you can see, like, this is a 30-sided dice, but it only goes from 21 to 30. And then you have a bunch of cars here. You can see they're just little toy cars. There's nothing super great about them. You have some stock cars and some Formula One looking cars. So you have a little bit of variety that you can choose from to try to not get them confused on the track. And then the last thing you're going to get is the little trays that actually hold the little gear panels in them. So you'll have your little tray and you'll put your little gear panel, and then you can shift the little gear piece, which are these pieces here. Well, you can see this is going to fit in the gearbox, and you'll be able to switch it back and forth in there to set the gear. And then you have these little pin tokens that you're going to be able to put in the slots to determine the actual rating of all your different vehicle parts, or the damage on the simple side, just the general damage that goes on the car. So very simple as far as the totality of it, but still a nice game all in all with quality components. That is Formula D from Asmodee.